Hendricks told Bishop who we were and that we had to move, but Bishop refused to leave without the other researchers, his friends. Our instructions were specific. Bishop was our priority. We didn't like it, but Bishop refused to leave without them.
Sounds like you were taking an awful risk.
He said for the cure to work, he needed them. They weren't expendable. Technically, we were.
In a way, you and the NRC were not so different in what you wanted and how far you were willing to go.
Our method was different. Our reasoning was not. No one wants to sacrifice themselves to save the world. But you like to think if the moment came, you'd have it in you.
Who was inside the cell?
Lieutenant Ziyed Khalil, member of the Egyptian army. Back in '65, he was a guard assigned to Bishop's research station. This was how we met. Hendricks cut him down and notified Taylor we were freeing the other hostages. Taylor said we didn't have the time. The base was swarming with additional NRC forces. They weren't letting their prize go that easily. There was a tunnel full of hostile soldiers between us and our exit. A cargo elevator ahead was the only way to the surface. No telling how close the dead were behind us. The remaining NRC forces were waiting for us above. They weren't about to let their prize prisoner go. If it meant getting the cure and saving their families, they were willing to die for it. And they weren't the only ones. We'd never seen dead killers in action before. To us, it was a spectacle. To them, it was just another day in the life. Wait a minute.
Do not be deceived by his lies. Remember your past. Remember when you first met John Taylor. Remember the truth.
Wait, this is wrong. This can't be real. I told you I met Taylor in Zurich during the 2065 Catardist Uprising, after I became a dead killer. But here I am with Taylor, and my limbs haven't been replaced yet. I'm still human. Why did you tell me that the first time I met Taylor was Zurich?
Focus. You need to complete this memory. What was Taylor's plan?
We were still on for exfil, but first... First, we had to blow the bridge. We followed Diaz. Both undead and NRC forces were converging on our position. Hall grabbed us after the hangar. She was to take us to Moretti, so we could blow the bridge. After the bridge, we were forced inside a comm center. Moretti took point. The rendezvous with Taylor was an APC garage just ahead. We could hear the undead screaming towards us. But that wasn't all. A robot horde was moving in. Taylor would need some time to get the door open.
You were forced into the garage. What happened there?
Hendricks wanted to go back and get the other hostages. Taylor said Bishop was priority. After all, he had the cure. The rest were just collateral.
What did Taylor do?
He volunteered to take his team to get the others. We were to take Khalil and Bishop to exfil. We got on the APC. Bishop was the most important man in the world right now. We had to get him to exfil if it killed us. The APC stalled on us. Hendricks needed a minute to get going. The undead were God's life crawling over us. The APC spun out and crashed. Hendricks moved Bishop into position. The drone evac was inbound. Once secured in the drop pod, it would return to collect. We just needed to hold back the Horde.
What happened?
Airspace was compromised. They had to pull out. Bishop was priority. We were expendable. We heard Taylor over calls. He was inbound and told us to hang on. No. I can't do this. I can't live this again. No. Please.
I'm sorry. You must.
No, please!
If you wish to defeat Deimos, you must. To save the world, you must relive this.
I should have died. I felt myself fade. It was over. That was the day I met John Taylor. That was the day I became a dead killer.
That was the day you met Bishop, the man who found the cure, before he died at the Cairo aquifers. Moretti told you to find him.
On Moretti's instruction, we sought him out. We told him what we knew, which at the time was just a name, Deimos. He didn't know much, just that Deimos was responsible for the outbreak, and that a safe house in Singapore had a dossier on the guy. So we returned to Singapore. Little did we know, Gojulan had taken the city, and somehow gotten the undead to obey her. If we were gonna get to the safe house, we'd have to go through them. The vultures. Sadistic scavengers, ravaged by atrocity and time, driven by fear and insanity. We saw their victims strung up on display the moment we arrived.
When forced against the wall, the impurities of man can be revealed.
It was more than that. This was survivalism. When only 1% of the world's population is human, you either died and became the undead, or you survived by preying on the living. I had a bad feeling about this. Going through the undead was one thing, but vultures... they were fucking savages. These scavengers were well equipped. I suppose that's what you get when you prey on your fellow man. We made quick work of them. Took point down the alley. From the sounds of it, the dead knew we were coming. Clearly, Singapore was happy to have us back in town. Overwatch confirmed the vultures were converging on the safe house. Civilians spotted on site. We didn't know if we could get through without additional collateral damage. The scavengers began realizing they weren't the only humans in the area. It was a matter of time before Gojulan knew we were here. The safe house was beyond the gardens, but the gardens belonged to the dead. They smelled us lurking above. The scavengers began realizing they weren't the only humans in the area. It was a matter of time before Gojulan knew we were here. The safe house was beyond the gardens, but the gardens belonged to the dead. They smelled us lurking above. Before Hendricks could take him out, the scavenger alerted Gojulan. She knew we were here. Reinforcements were moving on a checkpoint nearby, along with more dead.
Why did they create these displays? What was the purpose?
They weren't just displays. They were art. A way to show off their work, lure their enemies with the dead bodies of friends. Vultures are territorial. They fought among themselves, sociopaths at war with everyone and everything, undead or fellow human. Either way, you were a predator competing over the same resources. And now... A malfunctioning ASP heard the commotion and joined the party. I needed to find a rocket launcher. The vultures beat us there, set fire to the facility. Gojulan announced herself over a PA. She was inside, and she had a special guest waiting for us. We cleared the plaza. All that was left was to get inside. The blast knocked us back. We heard the building creaking. It could collapse at any moment. Hendricks thought we should stand down. It wasn't worth it.
You push back.
We needed that dossier. At this point, it was our only lead to Deimos. I told Hendricks to call an exfil. I'd take the safe house. Bishop had told us the document was hidden in the panic room within the facility.
Who was in the panic room?
Her. Kane. Our guardian angel. Someone had beaten the hell out of her. Gojulan. She was there for the same thing I was. The same thing our friend was. The dossier.
Do it. Kill her. Kill his host. Prove yourself worthy.
Did you kill him?
I struggled. Panicked. I acted in the heat of the moment.
And the file on Deimos?
Most likely it was reduced to Kindle. Gone. Or so we thought. Hendricks called in transport. Singapore was another dead end. But we needed a few answers from Kane. Starting with who the hell was she? And what was she doing in an abandoned CIA safe house? The truth proved more eye-opening than we could have imagined. After the aquifers, we certainly hadn't expected to see Kane again, let alone here. She wanted the same thing we did. The data drive on Deimos. Better yet, she knew where it was. It was moved from the safe house to a CIA black station in the quarantine zone.
Did she say why Gojulan was trying to kill her?
It wasn't Gojulan. Julan was a puppet of Deimos, and Deimos wanted Kane dead. Guess he didn't like her very much.
Did you trust her?
No, not yet. Our guard was up, but if she could get us to the black station, it was worth a shot. The Singapore quarantine zone. We never thought we'd be back here.
Bad memories?
You know damn well it certainly wasn't good ones, Doc. The place was a living, breathing reminder of the incident 5 years ago. We'd be in and out quick. We weren't staying any longer than we had to. Find out who this Deimos asshole was and get the hell out of Dodge. Kane said the data drive on Deimos was encrypted and separated into 2 pieces. We needed both to access the drive. Like a lock and key.
The lock, I assume, was at the Black Station. Where was the key?
The key. That was down by the docks. Undead Central. Heavy hostiles. We brought a DNI-equipped micro-missile launcher. Couldn't be too careful. That, and Command had prepped a drone strike to wipe out most of the dock. But with the high winds from the incoming superstorm, well, no guarantees it'd work. We grabbed our spike anchors in case we needed to be nailed down. After the docks, our rendezvous with Kane was set for an abandoned police station. Hendricks took point.
More vultures.
Picking up. The superstorm could hit at any moment. Good thing we grabbed those spike anchors. We were gonna need them. The plan was to wait on the drone strike. Once it did its part, we'd move in. The missiles weren't effective. Wind too strong. And now that ocean liner looked like it was about to rip free. That thing would pulverize the dock, taking the data drive with it. Hendricks said, fuck it. We were built to kill the dead. No reason to switch it up now. We secured the first part of the drive and uploaded the information to Kane. Hendricks moved to sweep the wheelhouse. The howling wind told us we had to hit it fast and quick. Superstorm hit sooner than expected. The barge ripped free and barreled towards us. And hang on for dear life. We'd been set to rendezvous at an abandoned police station, but we were off route. We cut through the flooded subway to save time. With the dead cleared out, we moved toward our rendezvous. Turns out we weren't the only living things in there. A vulture got the drop on us, determined to reduce us to scrap metal. He'd hit a big payday with us cornered.
You were a payday to him? How so?
We were dead killers. You break us down to spare parts, you can fetch a pretty penny on the black market.
But you were there to fight the dead. You were an ally.
With their comms scrambled, we had one less nuisance to deal with at the Black Station. Now to get the drive and get the hell out of this shithole.
You couldn't take being here, could you? You felt haunted coming back to this city.
The feeling had latched onto me at the safe house. Like I was being watched. Something had their eyes on me.
Something? Not someone?
And I just felt something pulling me, guiding me. I couldn't shake it. Our rendezvous with Kane was just ahead. By the time we rendezvoused with Kane, the dead were crawling all over the street.
What was Kane's plan?
Hit him in the gullet, then bag and tag. Gotta admit, the girl wasn't afraid of a fight. She seemed to welcome it. Relish it.
Like yourself?
Like a berserker. Like a dead killer. Why didn't you tell me? You created Project Corvus, wrote the report. You pulled me along like you had no clue what I was talking about.
If I had told you, the impact would not have been the same. You know that. That you could not recall is no fault of mine.
After the Black Station, we had to find you. Find out what you knew.
I was in Cairo at the time. Your friend, Khalil.
He brought you to Ramsey Station, humanity's last holdout in Egypt. We knew who Deimos was, where he was from, but we didn't know why. He'd taken over the world, but to do what? To find out why, we had to talk to you. The pieces were coming together. Virus 6115, Taylor's team, the undead, it all came back to Deimos. All we needed was you. Hendricks was unhinged. The idea his friends betrayed mankind to help a demigod. The concept alone was insane, let alone his friends' involvement. Kane was in it to the end. By now, she was as obsessed with stopping Deimos as we were. We weren't ready for Cairo, no matter what we thought. This place. If there was ever a place that was hell on Earth, this was it. It wasn't just the city. The entirety of northern Africa had fallen to the undead. The walls were covered with memories of the dead, those taken by 6115. Lost to this wasteland, the desert for the undead. It was the last place on Earth you'd want to be. But you chose to hide there. Why?
For that very reason. I hoped no one would come for me.
Why? What were you running from?
From what you sought. Deimos.
Khalil was waiting. He was holding you in an interrogation room.
How was Khalil? Happy to see you.
It wasn't a warm welcome. As far as he was concerned, we owed him one for grabbing you. More than a few men gave their lives to bring you in. He hoped it was worth it.
He was angry?
He was tired. Tired of fighting a losing battle. Khalil was a realist. He'd fight to the death for country. But he knew what was coming.
And what was coming?
Extinction. The undead changed everything. The NRC were hit first and hardest. We saw that in Ethiopia. The damage done by the dead didn't even take into account what the water wars did. When the continent dried up and the Nile River Coalition took war to Egypt over the Nile, the last water supply. They were so busy fighting they didn't realize it, too, had dried up. But the rise of the undead? How do you fight an enemy that doesn't need water? Khalil's rage wasn't misplaced. It wasn't personal. He was just barely holding on.
What did you hope to learn from speaking to me?
How to stop Deimos. Everyone has a weakness. The whole base was on edge. You could feel it in the air. The dead were moving on Ramses. An assault was imminent. Khalil didn't know how much time we had with you. Hendricks demanded to know why we weren't informed.
How did Khalil respond to his anger?
WA command was down. How was he meant to get his message through? Besides, they still had their dead system. They used to knock enemy aircraft out of the sky, but now they were used to eviscerate the undead. If any came too close, the laser cannons would take them out. Khalil led us to interrogation. He warned us our time was limited. No telling when the dead might attack. But if we could get answers out of you, maybe we could find a way to fight back. You certainly weren't too happy to see us.
You say it like I had a choice in the matter.
With no time, we needed you to be willing to talk. The truth serum would make you relax, more willing to divulge. Hendricks told us to take a walk. He asked about Taylor and Deimos. He wanted you to connect the dots.
And I told him Deimos controlled them. Your friend Bishop was correct. There was a brain manipulating the undead. It was Deimos. Deimos realized he could access a person's DNA. He could possess them, inhabit them, consume them. He didn't need to turn them.
Like puppets on strings.
The undead are mindless creatures.
The assault on Ramses was beginning. The base was about to be overrun. We owed Khalil a favor. We weren't ready for the station assault. I don't know how the dead got in. Maybe an abandoned tunnel, an infected civilian, or maybe the vultures let them through. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. The Egyptian army came over comms. They'd never seen a horde this size move on the station. If we had any chance to stop them, we needed to reinforce the eastern checkpoint, a narrow passageway the dead would need to traverse to reach Ramses. Cairo. She was a city on fire. Except for the Egyptian army and a smattering of civilians hidden away. She'd fallen to the dead. Khalil didn't say it, but I could hear it in his voice. He knew this was the last stand. If they lost this battle, they'd lose the city.
What was Khalil's plan?
The undead were moving on the eastern checkpoint. A clear shot at Ramses Station. The Egyptian army had rigged explosives below the street, but there were a few support columns we would need to take out first. We had the spike launcher for that.
You talked of his desperation, his total acknowledgement of futility. Yet here he was, staying and fighting.
What else was he going to do? If it wasn't today, it was tomorrow. Or the day after that. We lost the war. The moment Diaz opened the quarantine zones. The moment Deimos entered our dimension. One way or another. It was a simple, straightforward plan. Except... our VTOL was shot out of the sky. The mobile blockade fell early. It wasn't just the undead gunning for us. Cairo was a no-man's land, filled with the undead, rogue robotics, and scavengers. They were all converging on our position. If we were gonna pull this off, we didn't have time to fuck around. I grabbed the spike launcher and told Kane at HQ to locate the support columns for us to blow. detonated the last support column. We had to get back behind the wall so we could blow the street. Our triggerman got hit. I had to get up there and detonate. I told Hendricks I needed a moment. Good thing Hendricks still had our back. Khalil thanked us. He thought they still had a chance. They had no idea what was about to happen. Egyptian Army Command came over comms. A scavenger had blown a hole through Sophia Square, and the undead were pouring through, headed for Ramses. I told Khalil we'd take care of the square. I gave Hendricks a hand opening the VTOL hatch. I heard screams. There was someone still alive.
You went in to save this man? The odds of his survival could not have been great. You yourself said no one was getting out alive.
Does that matter? I guess it was Khalil who changed my mind. There were so few of us left. If there was a chance, any chance, I'd take it.
Strange. Even with all odds stacked against you, you tried to help this man. He clung to life without hope, and still you tried to save him.
Turns out it didn't matter. He didn't survive. It would only be a matter of time before he turned and joined the Horde. No time to stop and mourn. If I did that, I'd end up joining him. And we weren't going down just yet. Sophia Square was a total snafu. Undead, rogue robotics, everything in the kitchen sink wanted a piece of us. Sophia Square was a total snafu. Undead, rogue robotics, everything in the kitchen sink wanted a piece of us. Sophia Square was a total snafu. Undead, rogue robotics, everything in the kitchen sink wanted a piece of us. Sophia Square was a total snafu. Undead, rogue robotics, everything in the kitchen sink wanted a piece of us. It didn't take long for the vultures to drop a second base speed. was only a matter of time before a malfunctioning ASP arrived, ready to take out everyone and everything. It was only a matter of time before a malfunctioning ASP arrived, ready to take out everyone and everything. It was only a matter of time before a malfunctioning ASP arrived, ready to take out everyone and everything. We cleared the plaza, but something was wrong. I could hear it.
What did you hear?
Nothing. And that was the problem. It took us a moment to realize what had happened. Something had taken out the dead system. One of the scavengers, maybe a malfunctioning biped. We saw reinforcements fly in, but it was too late. Khalil tried to reach Egyptian command. All we heard were screams. Ramsey's station had fallen to the dead. We got out of the open. Khalil, he'd reached a breaking point. No mistaking that look. That look of defeat. anger, frustration, hopelessness. You try to sympathize, you try to comfort. Doesn't matter. Then Kane came over comms. She'd picked up the location of Sarah Hall, another of Taylor's team. Her signal popped back up on the grid. We had traced her to Kebeshet, the sandy ruins of Cairo's Garden City. I told Khalil if there was a sliver of hope, we needed to catch Hall and find Taylor. If we did, and found a way to send Deimos back to Malum, we could undo all of this.
And Hendricks?
His mind was melting. I still didn't know what was sparking his behavior. He didn't want to go after Hall. I said he didn't have a say in the matter. He didn't like that.
He attacked you.
There was that look in his eyes, like ghost. This is wrong. This is all wrong. You said opening the gateway would save humanity. It was the only way to defeat Deimos and send him back to Malum. But opening the gateway would let the forces of evil through, allow them to conquer Earth, enslave us. Wait, we didn't meet at Ramsey Station. That didn't happen. You're feeding me false memories.
Be careful, my child. Tread lightly, or you are liable to offend me.
We contacted Khalil, inquired about you. He said you were dead. You died some time ago. I saw you die. When I was with Hall, inside her mind, she showed me the truth. Who are you really, Doctor? Deimos was going to open the gateway. He needed the demons of Malum to enslave Earth for the battle against Dolos. We didn't know what he had planned, but we had Sarah Hall, her signal tracing to Kebeshet.
You didn't think it odd that her signal appeared? After years of absence.
There wasn't time to think about it. But if we got her, we could find Taylor and decipher Deimos' plan. We had no idea we were being baited for a trap. She was waiting. She knew we were coming. Deimos was using Taylor to open the gateway. If we were gonna find him, we needed to take Hall down and interface with him. If we were gonna find him, we needed to take Hall down and interface with her. If we were gonna find him, we needed to take Hall down and interface with her. I'd interfaced before. I knew how it worked. It's a memory retrieval, an info dump, a lethal procedure. But this was different. She begged me to do it. Interfacing with someone is opening a portal to their mind, their darkest thoughts and desires. But this was her deep subconscious. This wasn't supposed to happen.
Because the deep subconscious is more than that. It is the gateway, the portal to Malum. The subconscious hides your fears, your doubts. It's the most primal version of you. It's what you run from. And by running, you persevere in life. But what if you embrace the subconscious? How do you think I opened the gateway?
But you said to open the gateway, I had to relive my memories.
No. I told you to take me to the start of your journey. The journey into the depths of your fears. You chose to relive your memories. So tell me, what do you fear?
Please, why are you doing this? Why are you scrambling my mind? Don't make me do this!
You don't have a choice. You haven't had one since you picked up that child. Since you embraced Sarah's...
Hall told me that she had no idea what they were getting into, but they had to follow standard operating procedure, which meant locking down the site. And interfacing with the location's primary systems in the server room below. We were built to be invincible. Our D&I let us interface with systems in dangerous environments and upload information. We created the very opportunity for Deimos to leave the server room.
He was a prisoner, with no way to expand humanity's horizon.
We were vehicles for his transportation.
That makes it sound so cold. This is for the good of humanity. Tell me, what did Sarah fear?
Failure. At the Academy, she studied the battles of World War II. The bravery of these men. She feared she could never match their heroism. She feared she didn't have real courage. She ran from it. She had nightmares of Bastogne. As she entered her subconscious, she gave into fear. let it pull her away. I followed her. Deep within her mind, there had to be a way to save her. The world began to fall apart. We heard his voice. Deimos.
Sarah, listen to the sound of my voice. I will have my army and my kingdom. All that remains is her sacrifice.
He was trying to consume her, and he wasn't about to let me stop him. Fracturing, stretched between our dimension and his. She warned me to turn back, to let Deimos take her. I told her I'd stay with her. I'd see it to the end. I asked her what happened after coalescence.
You were deep within her subconscious, at the threshold of another dimension. You seemed to embrace the journey.
You think I wasn't scared? I was terrified. There was no way to make up for what I had done. But I had to try. From the moment she was possessed, Hall became a passenger in her own body, a witness unable to intervene as Deimos began using her for his purpose. He wanted them to go to the Black Station. He wanted to find you, to meet the man who'd given him his freedom. He slaughtered the staff. Ravaged them. Why did he kill them?
I wasn't there. He was upset. And he wasn't happy to learn of the documentation of his existence. It was not time for his big reveal, his masterpiece. He was angry. When he found the data drives, he couldn't access them. Part of the drive was missing. He couldn't purge the information as he hoped.
The piece Hendricks and I recovered from the docks. Someone had hidden them from him. Someone knew he would come. Someone was trying to stop him. Deimos didn't want Sarah divulging his secrets to us either. He ripped us from that memory. We were in Foy. I didn't just see fear in Sarah's eyes anymore. I saw admiration. The longer I stayed, the stronger she became. The more she actually believed she had a chance. She told me to follow her. There was something she wanted me to see. Something she wanted to tell me. There was a chapel ahead of us. Paul told me to follow her there. was a chapel ahead of us. Hall told me to follow her there. But to get to Hall, we had to get through the Tiger tank first. I tried to approach her, but Deimos had other ideas. He was desperate to separate us and evict me from her mind. He wanted her, and I was getting in his way. She told me to approach her. She wanted me to understand.
Sarah couldn't understand. She only saw how it ended. Humans are obsessed with beginnings and ends. The journeys between, they become filler. Life becomes filler. She tried to fight the voice in her head that had given her the ultimate gift.
The ultimate gift? Deimos was controlling her.
Relinquishing control is the ultimate gift. Free of choice, free of pressure, free of consequence. Her actions dictated for her with greater purpose. She was granted the greatest gift of all, and she fought it. How dare you fight the voice of a god?
You're insane.
No. Humanity is insane. You asked her to help you find Taylor. Where did she take you next?
So I had to know how. The aquifers. Sarah told me this was their fortress in the sand. Their FOB for years. Deimos couldn't access the intelligence at the Singapore Black Station. He couldn't locate you, so they hid here, waiting for their moment. She took me there. There's something I don't get. You made this happen. You've pushed for the annihilation of Earth. But Deimos wasn't using you. You weren't his puppet. What's in this for you? Why are you doing this? Are you an undead sympathizer?
No, my child. Dr. Salim was not a sympathizer. He was so much less than that. He was so much more insignificant than that.
Was? Wait. What do you mean, was?
I must say, I'm impressed with how delusional you've become. You had completely forgotten this memory.
They found you. They tortured you for information, but this doesn't make any sense. You were an ally. You enabled him, freed him.
Dr. Salim was no ally. He was a tool. An instrument I enabled. He was a blind idealist believing he could make the world a better place. That I could save humanity, that he could save humanity. He thought I'd found him to thank him. Me. A god. Thank a mortal. I found him to seize power from him.
No.
Even now you still hide from the truth. Corvus had been destroyed in Singapore. I needed it to open the gateway. That was why I had kept Salim alive. He worked with a colleague, Kruger. And they built me a new Corvus at Coalescence headquarters in Zurich. One which I could use to open the gateway. So I had no further need for the doctor. She knew what was coming.
The tree. I've seen it before. The entrance to Malum.
Tell me, what do you fear? You don't fear the undead. You've thrown yourself against insurmountable odds as if you had a death wish. As if you were trying to escape. Is it failure? Is it life? No. You fear your mistakes, your past. Your greatest fear is the memory that haunts you.
You awaited her sacrifice. She wanted me to stop you. She wanted me to end it. To deny you her offering.
You wouldn't give up. You wouldn't let me have her.
If she offered herself, she'd give you what you wanted. The only way to deny you was to kill her.
You denied me my prize. It was time to send you back to your world. You must know how this ends. This ends with your sacrifice. But now I had you. I passed from Hall's mind to your own. Slowly, I would work my way through you. Sarah may have told you who I was and what I was planning, but none of that mattered because now I had you. But you were strange. I tried to seize control. You know how this ends. You're like the rest of them. Diaz, Moretti, Hall, Taylor. I flow through your veins, slowly grasping control. But you're stronger than I anticipated. Your resistance is greater. But this only makes you all the better for my needs. Lotus Towers. What happened there?
You think I'll help you? After all this?
What real choice do you have in the matter? You're the pawn in my game.
I'm not about to hand over humanity.